Welcome to the Merch Minds podcast, where we discuss everything about the Merch by Amazon business and the print-on-demand industry. Here are your hosts, Glen and Yong.
What's up, everybody? Glen with Hustler Hacks here with my main man, Yong.
Hey, what's going on, folks?
And this is the Merch Minds podcast, episode number 3.
That's right, man. We're at number 3. I mean, we're slowly growing the podcast here.
And a lot of things to get to today. We're going to be talking about just our own personal, merch business, what we have going on for the last week or two. Yong has a crazy story to tell us. And then we're going to talk about the FAQ update that Amazon put out, talking about the new content policy. So a lot of things to get to. We'll start off with what's going on with our personal businesses. Yong, how many shirts have you been selling lately? Any trends? Anything you've noticed?
No, I mean, so right now I'm at the 500 tier, and I currently have either 498 or 499 shirts live.
Okay.
So I'm literally like one or two away from maxing out. And but I've been doing good up until like yesterday. Sales are kind of slow down. I mean, typically I'm doing anywhere between 3 to 5 shirts per day, and then yesterday, I had like one sale the whole day. Today I'm at one sale. So and I don't know why. I mean, I think it's probably, in my opinion, again, and I'm not an expert, but in my opinion, ever since Amazon opened up the floodgates, there's just a lot of competition out there. So that's why it's really important, in my opinion, to have good design.
And the last time we talked, I think you were at like 420 something or 30 something.
Something like that. I'm usually when I get home, I'm designing shirts, but I was out of town for a couple of weeks, and that's something we'll get into shortly here. And I wasn't able to design any shirts for a couple of weeks. That's why it took so long for me to get to my mark that I'm at currently.
And have you switched out any shirts since you're like at 498, 499? Have you made any substitutions to try to get different designs in there, or?
Not yet. I mean, I know in the previous episode I had talked about going back and revising some of them, but like I said, the last couple of weeks it's been kind of crazy, so I haven't been able to do anything.
So you're pretty much telling me that you're waiting to tier up.
Well,
you're going to fill up the 500. You're almost there. One shirt away.
No. I'm one shirt away from maxing out.
Yeah, maxing out.
As far as designs, but I still got to sell 500 shirts before I cleared the next level. But yeah, things been kind of slow. What's going on with you, man?
I'm at the same thing right now. I was checking the forums because the Amazon forums, because they've also said that today has been a little slow on sales. But to me, it's kind of typical around this time because we're coming towards the end of the month. Today is September 28th. So usually the last 2 or 3 days are a little slower for me. And I notice once like the first of the month comes around, people get their checks, they have some money, they want to go on Amazon, see what kind of t-shirts are up. So that's usually when they start to like spike back up again. So that's kind of like what I think what's going on right now as far as a little tiny slump.
Okay. You ever notice, and I don't know if you ever feel this way, but I sometimes feel like a lot of my customers shop really late at night because I'll check my phone or my computer like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'll have like 2 or 3 sales sometimes.
That's usually happened. I've seen a little bit on merch
Okay.
I've seen it a lot on eBay. Like eBay, for some reason, it's like I wake up and there's people that have bought and stuff. I don't know if
Oh,
that's good or a bad thing, as long as they're not like, hey, you know what? Last night was a little crazy, and I was on eBay, kind of looking around on stuff.
right.
Can I return this? But on merch, I have seen it kind of weird. Like you'll see, yeah, probably around the same time, 10 or 11. Then I wake up and I saw, an extra 4 or 5 shirts sold, during that time. So that is a little weird. I wonder what kind of midnight Amazon creepers are out there, but
Yeah.
definitely interested in that.
And I mean, and obviously me living on the West Coast, I mean, I'm sure a lot of these customers are back east somewhere. So I mean, God knows what they've been doing that night. So who knows?
It's already like 1 a.m. already
Right.
over there.
Right.
They're looking for shirts. So also, I guess for me, what else has been going on? Today was slow, but yesterday was good. The other days before that has just been the same amount of sales, like 25 to 30 range per day, and hasn't really slowed down except for today. And I'm gonna do a video, which I think when this podcast comes out, you guys will see the video. But I usually just do like a monthly merch sales update. So maybe we could talk a little bit about the payouts, what's going on with that. So I think the August payout came out, and was it what you expected?
For me, it was what I expected. But you guys have to remember when the payouts come, that's for the previous month. It's not for the current month. So this month, September, has by far been the best month. So I'll see that in the next payout, and that'll be my biggest payout as of yet.
And another thing to remember is that they don't count that money until the shirt ships out.
Mm-hmm.
So some people might have their payouts are a little bit less than what they expected, and that's just because they didn't ship out that certain shirt during that time, but someone did buy it. But you'll see that reflected on the following September check. So
That's right. That's right.
yeah, because I have quite a bit of people on the forums and different Facebook groups wondering what's going on and how come their payout was a little bit less than what they thought. But that's pretty much the explanation when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. But Glenn, so you're selling about 25 to 30 shirts per day. So remind us again, how many shirts do you have live?
Right now I have 2,317. I actually went down 300 designs, which we will also talk about later. But yeah, like 2,300 designs, and even going through those, I mean, I have a lot of them that don't sell. I do have, of course, quite a bit that do sell that are very constant, and then I have the mid-range ones that will get, sales once in a while here and there, maybe one per week, twice per week, things like that. So they're all around, and I'm just trying to play the numbers game because I've had people ask me, what I plan to do or what I'm doing, I guess, and I'm just doing the numbers game. And like I said before, I have had people ask me like, I have like 5 or 7 shirts on right now. When can I expect some sales to start rolling in? And kind of what Yong said earlier, the competition is getting higher and higher. The platform's still very new, but a lot of people have been tiered up lately and accepted in. So there is going to be a lot more competition. And with 5 to 7 shirts, really just depends, of course, what those designs are, but and maybe what your keywords look like, what the idea is, all that stuff comes into play. But just because you have a couple of shirts live does not mean they're going to sell.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have some original shirt that just catches on. Because I can almost tell you, man, like 9 times out of 10, the people that are designing shirts, they're probably doing the same shirt that everyone else is doing, right? Because, for instance, and I'm guilty of doing this, and I'm sure you've done this. Like when we do some research on our shirts, I'll just go online and I'll find a shirt, for instance, and I've used this example for a bunch of times. I'll see a yoga shirt. I'll make that same yoga shirt, but I'll make it different. I'll make it unique. It might be the same caption, it might be the same slogan, but it's a little different. And I think that's another problem because I mean, there's only so many of those. There's going to be so many of those shirts, with the same caption out there. So sometimes you have to think outside the box and just get creative and be original.
Yeah, I think those are the shirts that will sell and will do well instead of kind of looking around on Amazon and seeing what the top selling shirts are, and then you just kind of copy them. Not necessarily like pixel by pixel or anything, but you have generally the same idea. Then you're just kind of thrown in with everybody else now when you could be creating a t-shirt that is like in a different little, I guess its own niche that maybe not a lot of people are in. Or just being creative and having your own idea or your own design, and then you can probably pick up some sales and you have something original instead of just throwing yourself with 20 other pages on Amazon.
Right, like 20 other shirts that says keep calm and chive on. I mean, that again, don't be that person that makes another shirt with the same slogan.
Yeah, and I think also too, just because it's on the interwebs does not mean that it's true. I've seen a lot of screenshots of like people with like less than 25 shirts, and they have a crazy amount of money, and we already know that you can change all that stuff on like a Google Chrome. You can change that stuff. You know what I mean? When you're doing stuff in real time, in a real time video, and people are really going through their numbers and showing you what they're doing and talking about them, that's a totally different story. But a screenshot, anybody can manipulate anything with Chrome or Photoshop or something like that. And you also keep in mind that, especially during the early days, there was quite a bit of people doing this. And then I would like kind of look to see like, okay, well, maybe they're really doing good, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, you don't see them anymore. And that was because they were doing like trademark designs. So of course you're going to get easy sales when you're doing shirts of the 49ers and Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. I mean, if me and Yong are cranking shirts out like that, trademark designs, I can guarantee you wouldn't be anywhere near the payouts I'm doing right now. It'd be like 4 or 5 times the amount because those shirts sell easily because you can just search up those key terms. But I don't know. Me and Yong talked about that too, and Amazon is still kind of working on that. I guess getting a lot of these trademark designs down. But we'll get into that content policy a little bit later.
Yeah, and I do hope that they fix that issue because I mean, you and I talked before the show, and there's a lot of shirts out there that should not be on Amazon right now. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the day when Amazon starts cracking down.
Yeah, I think it's coming very, very soon. But let's talk about your story first, because this is a very interesting story. So.
Yeah, so this is story time, boys and girls. I have a really interesting story. It might not sound like it's related to merch in the beginning, but I can promise you it is. So as some of you guys may know, I do have a day job, and for 2 weeks, I was traveling for business. I was traveling for work. I was out of town. I was attending a conference. And long story short, during the first week of me being out of town, my laptop computer got stolen. I'm talking my backpack. I had my external hard drive. Just basically everything and anything that was in my backpack was gone.
And you were freaking out at this moment.
I was freaking out, but
or you were a little calm.
Yeah, I mean, I was freaking out, but the thing is like, and this is a whole nother topic that we can get into on another show, but I save all my files on the cloud.
Oh, okay.
So all my files are intact. So the only thing that was really gone was a laptop computer, but still, I mean, just losing that having that stolen. It sucks.
Was it a work computer or was it your personal computer?
No, unfortunately, it was my own personal computer.
Oh, okay. But you did have, like, let's say merch stuff, as far as like your designs. Did you have those saved on the hard drive or on the laptop or also in the cloud?
No, everything that I do on the laptop is on the cloud.
Okay, very good.
Well, again, that's a whole nother topic that we can get into in the future. So, I highly encourage everyone, if you guys do merch, or just, regardless of the fact whether it's merch or not, just save your stuff on the cloud. I'm telling you, it will save you a lot of heartaches and headaches. But back to the story, yeah. So within the first week, within the first few days, my backpack gets stolen, my computer's gone. And around this time, I start getting emails from Amazon. As most of you guys may know, I do a lot of FBA. I started getting emails from the Seller Central saying, hey, we want you to confirm your residential address. Please send us a copy of your driver license and a utility bill that displays your home address. And obviously, I'm reading all these emails on my iPhone because, again, my laptop's gone. And I'm like, well, I have my license, but I can't send them the utility bill because I'm not home. I'm out of town for the next week and a half, right?
Yeah.
For the next week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm like, well, I can't send them the utility bill. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, all they want is my home address, right? So I'm like, it can't be that important. I'm like, you know what? By the time I get home, once I get back home, once I'm settled into my home, I'll send them over all that information that they requested. And so as I'm on this trip, over the couple of weeks, I'm getting I've gotten 3 or 4 more emails saying, please submit the information. We need your driver license and a utility bill that displays your home address, just so that we can confirm and verify, your home address.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I have the license, I just don't have a utility bill. Anyway, when I got home, which was this past, what was it, Thursday or Friday, I'm dead tired, right? I've been attending a conference. I've been out of town for 2 weeks. I'm dead tired. In fact, this was Friday, and I come home and I pass out, right? I pass out, and I didn't wake up until Saturday morning, just past Saturday morning. I wake up Saturday morning, it's about 7, 8 o'clock. And typically my routine is every time I wake up, I like to log into my Amazon seller account and my merchant.
Get a cup of coffee, rest a little bit.
Right.
Put on those little pink slippers.
Yeah,
Exactly. Enjoy the morning.
Right. Smoke a little cigar. No, just and then to my surprise, I couldn't log into my FBA seller account. It was saying that my username or password was incorrect. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, something's wrong, right? Because in the last 7, 8 years that I've been doing FBA, I've had the same username and the same password. They've never been changed. And I immediately knew that my account had been suspended.
Immediately.
Glenn, I'm telling you, dude, my FBA seller account was suspended. And it freaked me out, right? I'm like,
okay, so it didn't let you log in, but then what happened? You finally did get in, or just never let you at all?
So I'm not able to log in, and I'm freaking out. And I'm like, and I knew exactly what it was, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to send in my information. And again, in my mind, I didn't think it was that big of a deal because it was just a home address that they wanted me to confirm.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had bad metrics. In fact, I'm probably one of the safest sellers around because I've always preached to everyone that I've taught FBA to, be safe, always sell items that are complete. I've always preached that. So I knew it wasn't because of my metrics, and I knew it was because I forgot to send them my information. So the first thing I did was I called seller support,
Yeah.
They confirmed that it was indeed suspended.
Did you get an email from them or anything to kind of
No,
warn you? Or
I had their phone number, and in fact, guys, here's a good pro tip. If you are doing FBA, they no longer give out their phone number. So if you have it, write it down. I will give it out to you guys. I don't have it on me at the moment because they no longer give it out. But anyways, I just happened to have that phone number. I gave them a call and they said yes. They did confirm that my account was suspended, but they said it was out of their control. They said we can't do anything. You have to send. Yeah, right. We
work for Amazon, but this is totally out of our control.
Yeah. So they said, it's out of our control. You have to email sellerperformance@amazon.com, and you have to explain to them. And this is I'm somewhat paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly what they said. That you have to email them, tell them what happened, and they said you have to tell them what your quote plan of action unquote is. Okay.
And this is a written one, right? Like written in a document and stuff. No.
They said send them an email.
Okay. And you had to type it all out, like the whole thing. This wasn't like an over the phone thing. Like, let me tell you my whole plan. This is like a full. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm talking to someone support over the phone, but they're telling me they can't do anything. It's out of their control. They said to email the seller performance team and tell them what happened and tell them what your plan of action is. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, man, my freaking account, is suspended and
this is 10 times bigger than the laptop stolen thing. This is huge.
Right, because a laptop you can replace. We've all heard horror stories about people's accounts getting suspended and they never back. So this is absolutely 10 times, if not 20 times, worse than getting my laptop stolen. So you guys can already see how my the past 2 weeks have been going. So I send them this long-winded email. And here's the thing, guys. If your account ever gets suspended, take full responsibility. Don't ever point your fingers and start wagging your finger at Amazon saying they're at fault. Because I tell you right now, if you do that, you will never get your account back.
And also not to put in excuses.
Yeah, take full responsibility. So I basically sent them this long-winded email, told them what happened, and the good thing is, again, for my particular situation, it wasn't because of my metrics. I was being 100% honest. I said, look, I was out of town on a business trip. My laptop had gotten stolen. I couldn't respond to your email because I wasn't home. I physically wasn't home to give you that information. And here's what sucks, guys. I know this podcast is about merch. And I promised you that this story is related to merch. When my FBA seller account was suspended, it's all across the board. My FBA account was suspended. My Kindle account was suspended. My merch by Amazon was suspended.
And this is crazy because we've had this discussion also with different people online about, are all of these accounts all together, or are they separated? Would it affect one another? And most of the time, everybody kind of put in their little, answer that it wouldn't affect another one. But maybe, of course, because this one was about banking and or address or things like that, that is just totally across the board with suspending the account on all of the platforms that Amazon offers.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've actually heard that too, Glenn, but I'm telling you right now, from my personal experience, all my accounts for Amazon got suspended, other than obviously to purchase stuff on Amazon. Obviously, they don't want to suspend that.
Go ahead and buy everything you want.
Yeah. But as far as conducting business on Amazon, all my accounts were suspended. And you can again, you can only just imagine how I'm feeling, right? Not only is my FBA account now suspended, my Kindle account, which I don't do much Kindle anyway, so I was okay with that. As
I'll let this one slide.
Right, but as I'm trying to grow my merch business, to find out that that has been suspended, I just felt hopeless. So long story short, again, just to kind of go fast forward with my story, within 24 hours, all three accounts have been reinstated. And here's the thing, guys. Okay, we said this before. Okay, you can call it your quote your business. At the end of the day, it is not your business because it is still on Amazon's platform. We're at their mercy. Even a simple thing as not being able to confirm my home address because I was out of town, they suspended my account. Okay, again, it wasn't because of my metrics. Okay, so we're at their mercy. So this whole experience was just a huge eye opener. Okay, Amazon does not care if you're at a funeral, if your father died, if your mother died, if your kids died, and I'm not trying to sound insensitive here. I'm just telling you cold, hard facts from my own personal experience. If you don't respond to them in a timely manner, regardless of what the situation is, chances are Amazon's gonna take action against you. So
if you don't take action, they will.
Yeah. So if you ever receive any messages, again, even if you happen to be in a situation like I was where your laptop gets stolen, man, I swear you better find a way to get the information and respond to them immediately. I don't care if you have to borrow someone else's laptop or go to a UPS store or FedEx Kinko's. You better find a computer to respond to Amazon.
And I'm glad that your account is up and running, ready to go. But also, this is just a huge learning experience, not just for you, but everybody else that's listening. And also, people that are interested in writing a great plan of action. Because I know that's also another thing up in the air that people are like, well, what do I tell them? What do I do? And a lot of the times people run off emotion, and it's like the first thing that they want to write on there is like how they feel, mad, sad, angry, and that's exactly what you don't want to do.
Yeah. Don't put your emotions on that email. Again, take full responsibility. My situation just happened to be a little different than most people. It was only because I couldn't confirm my home address. I know some people are getting suspended for other reasons, but regardless of what the situation is, just always take responsibility and keep your emotions in check.
Exactly. And Amazon's giving us this opportunity. Nobody wants to get suspended, but at the same time, nobody wants to, be in jeopardy. But there's just people out there that are doing risky stuff, that are putting themselves in place to get kicked off, and then asking questions later on, like, why did I get kicked off?
Yeah, and that's something we're going to talk about here shortly.
Yeah, and it's like, you have copyrighted, trademarked designs on merch. You have paid reviews on your Kindle books. You have fake items that items that you're sending into FBA. Those are just things that some people are actually doing these things on purpose and trying to see what they can do to get away with it. And Amazon will find you, and you will be banned, and it will happen.
Absolutely.
But in Yong's case, that was just terrifying. That's like someone just came to your house and just punched you in the stomach.
Right. Oh my gosh! But no, it was. That was probably one of the worst 24 hours that I've gone through in a long time.
Anxiety filled.
Right. I couldn't sleep. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? But
you have to write this, long plan of action to the Amazon gods to see who's gonna, listen to your story and say, you know what, this guy deserves it, man. He's in. Let's keep him here on Amazon. We want him.
If someone at the other end of that email is having a bad day, oh man,
I know. They just got like a small fender bender in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? My accountant might still be suspended, but that leads us right into why. Obviously, this is a podcast about merch. That leads us right into why you should always follow the terms of service that Merch by Amazon provides. And obviously, as Glenn, as you know, they recently updated their terms of services.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about how, we're at their mercy, and that's kind of like the little, kind of like the main thing here that we want to get to is, yes, we are at their mercy, and when they update their content policy, you must change your designs as well. Because here's the thing. Some of these things that they changed on here, this was on the 16th of September. Some of these things that they changed on here, weren't part of this whole thing when it started. So if you're already thousands of shirts in, like me, and they change something like this, you got to go back, change these things on your listings, and it will take time. So let me get into that. We talked about being at their mercy. So on the 16th, they changed their content policy, frequently asked questions. You can go to this on your merch account and check the resources page. All of this is listed on there. I definitely recommend you to read all of this because it may affect you, and you don't want it to be too late to where you get suspended or something because you didn't read this update. And I think it's just important in general. Every single update that comes on your homepage on that lower right corner, you should be reading it because you never know what they're talking about or what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they're actually telling you, they're like, hey, we updated our terms of services. Go read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Ignorance is not an excuse, guys. You have to go read it every time they give you those notifications.
And one of their main things too is that if you get suspended, you don't want to be one of those, if you do have to write a plan of action that you say, well, you know what? I wasn't aware of it, or I didn't know that they changed it. I didn't see it. I never got an email. I wasn't aware. That stuff's not gonna fly.
Yeah, that's not even an excuse because they did notify you of the change of the terms of services.
So let's talk about those really quick. So the policy, inclusion of any of the following information in detail, page titles, descriptions, or bullet points is prohibited. So we're going to talk about them one by one, try to break them down. So the first one, any content that violates the Merch by Amazon content policy, including profanity, pornography, or illegal and infringing content. So in that case, profanity, which was a huge thing, because if you remember in the first couple of months, you could pretty much put whatever you want.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You want to have a shirt that has the word ass on there, you could do that. Now they are actually they're kind of really, really picky compared to some of the copyrighted designs that I've seen on there, but any kind of word that kind of relates to that, I've seen other words that aren't even considered profanity, like the word sex, or what was another word that I think they were kind of banning too, or at least some people had some trouble processing them. So I think you're pretty much your t-shirts at this point have to be PG.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have any shirts with profanity on it. So
I actually had about 6 or 7 shirts, I think. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't anything crazy like the F word or anything like that. It was just kind of like funny, humor type shirts. Okay. And that was one of my mistakes, actually, was because since it was on there, I considered them like not too bad. Like I said, it wasn't like F word or anything like that. I did get them taken down, and I did get an email, and they did tell me they took these down. Of course, if you're not following the content policy, I don't know how many strikes you get before they take you down. But they did remove those shirts. So I went back and just went to double check anything that's anywhere near profanity or anything like that. Even PG-13, I took them off.
Mhm.
I just didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, yeah. So if any of you guys do have shirts with profanity, or if you even think is close to being a profanity word, just go ahead. Just be safe. Go back and take them down because again, trust me, you don't want to go through what I went through. So just take them down.
Take those off now if they haven't already been taken down, because they got pretty. I don't know. They were pretty constant on getting those shirts down, and they ended up taking quite a bit. Not only on mine, but a couple of other people that I talked to. They took those down. At least I think because that thing came on maybe a month and a half ago, where they first started talking about profanity on T-shirts, and then they really started going hard on getting people off, at least those shirts off. I think a month or month and a half later, and there's still some on there, but they will be taken down. So I would definitely take those down. And the last part of that was the infringing content, which for some reason still gets uploaded and still are like the top ranked shirts. Pokemon Go, football, movies, NFL, I should say. Movies and stuff like that, that they're infringing content. They're still on there. I do believe Amazon will take them off. I just don't know when, and when they do, I don't know. I think a lot of people will get banned for this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Glen said, we don't work for Amazon, so we don't know how many strikes that they take, that counts against you until they actually do suspend you. I mean, we don't have that answer, but to just play it safe, just go in there now. If you have any other shirts that says the NFL, Pokemon, just anything that's copyrighted, and you guys know who you are, okay?
Yeah.
Just go in there right now and take them down.
Exactly. The next part, number 2, phone numbers, physical mail addresses, email addresses, or website URLs. And you're probably going to think, really? Phone numbers, physical mail addresses? Why would I put something like that in my keywords or description? But email addresses and website URLs, I think, are the biggest problem here that they don't want, because in the keywords, there actually is some people that have on there, contact me at, whatever t-shirts.com, or take a look at our website at whatevertees.com, or you can email me at customer service at, whatevertees.com. And people actually have these on their keywords and their descriptions. Yeah.
First of all, that's just kind of creepy. That's just weird, man. If you're doing that, man, you're definitely on the creepy list.
I think they're trying to, I guess, maybe be double safe as far as like contact me if you have any problems with like. But Amazon's handling all the customer service, so there really wouldn't be any reason to put your email in there.
Well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't make sense if they have like their web address on it. That makes sense, okay? Because I know they're trying to drive traffic.
Yeah, from their website and Amazon.
If you have your own personal phone number on there, that's just some creepy stuff, man. You deserve to be banned if you have your phone number on your description.
Hey, you like this shirt? Call me.
I know.
All right. Number 3, reviews, quotes, or testimonials. And reviews, a huge problem with Kindle publishing. People getting paid reviews, those things. And some people have had reviews taken off and fake reviews on there to try to like bring other people's shirts down. And that stuff, Amazon definitely doesn't want it. Nobody wants that, especially if you have like an original design that you're proud of. Someone goes in there putting in a fake review to try to get you down, or or even positive fake reviews that are like, oh, this is the best shirt ever. I love the feel. I love the fit. I look good. I look in the mirror every day when I'm wearing it. I'm just so sexy.
Oh my
God. These reviews
me out.
These reviews are out of control, but some people do that. They want to have their awesome reviews on there to try to sell as many shirts as possible. Amazon doesn't want that.
Exactly.
All right. Number 4, solicitations for positive customer reviews, which we just kind of talked about. Same thing. Positive customer reviews, selling them. Huge problem with Kindle. Right when I read reviews, quotes, and testimonials, I just put the customer reviews thing right in there with the selling them, because we already know everything about that stuff. It was just so crazy with Kindle that they just couldn't even control it till finally, I think, a lawsuit ended up happening with like Fiverr or other people that were selling.
Yeah, I know there was some lawsuit involved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, they definitely don't want any of that stuff. Number 5, information related to fulfillment and shipping, including shipping times, where the t-shirts are manufactured, and references to Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I mean, guys, if a customer is buying it Prime, they already know that it's going to be shipped Prime. So first of all, there's no reason to just re-mention it, right? Let Amazon handle that. No need to mention if the shirt was made in the USA. First of all, it's just they don't want that information. Put in better, keywords that's relevant to the subject matter. I mean, again, if it's a shirt about yoga, your keyword should be I don't know, what's that word? That term, namaste or whatever, or downward dog. Use keywords like that. Don't waste your keyword space with made in the USA. We'll ship in 2 days. That's just a waste of keyword space.
And I think this one was the most important one, because a lot of things happened here that maybe went under the radar. The first one, information related to fulfillment and shipping. Well, that makes me think that, I don't know, Amazon could just say anything that has the keyword shipping may be taken down, because they're telling you information related to fulfillment and shipping. So that's kind of crazy, because even if you have the word shipping on there, fast shipping, 1-day shipping, any of that stuff, I mean, maybe taken down. It is related to shipping. Shipping times, which, like you said, fast shipping now, order it now, you get it in a day shipping, Amazon Prime shipping, where t-shirts are manufactured. And that's the case where they talked about this in the webinar, how they said that they didn't want anybody putting on there made in the USA, because they said, maybe later on they're selling shirts and other items out of Europe or something. Then really your keywords are lying to customers by saying that it's made in the USA when it's not. And references to Amazon Prime. So in that case, free Prime shipping and all that stuff. So I could see people wanting to use that, because if they don't have Prime, then you're pretty much trying to like egg them on, like, hey, get Prime, you get this shirt for free. Or my shirt is better than the other, the MF shirts that are going out, because it is Prime. So you're trying to get like ahead of other people. And that's the thing that they don't like. So with the Prime shipping, I didn't have Amazon Prime in my listings, but I did have like Prime shipping or something like that. Or Prime shipping available or something like that. And I went back 2,700 shirts. I deleted a lot of the ones that weren't selling, because it would save me time to try to get these edited. And then I went back and I edited every single one of them. So now I'm at 2,300 shirts. I went down. And it took me roughly around 18 hours to edit all of these shirts because of that just little shipping thing. And I just don't want to get any type of like, I don't know, strikes on my account, or especially get it deleted, especially with, you know, the amount of money that's coming in. I don't want that. I don't want this my account suspended or anything because of something so stupid that was not part of the policy when I first joined. And that's one of the biggest things, because on the Amazon forums, there was a couple of questions on there, like asking Amazon, can you clarify this? How much time do we have to edit all of our listings to make sure that we're good to go, and you know, giving us the right amount of time? And what about the USA thing and all that stuff? And crazy amount of shirts on there, thousands of shirts that have you know, made in the USA. Crazy amounts. If they go through with this, I think this thing would just be crazy of how many people would be suspended, because they would have hundreds of thousands of shirts deleted, and more than likely that would lead to your suspension. But I typed in like made in the USA, or just USA, or Prime shipping, Amazon shipping, things like that, with, you know, the regular standard keywords that are in there, just so I can see the merch shirts easily. I don't know, at least like maybe 1/5 of those shirts, thousands of shirts that have these words in there. Well, if they did this, it'd be crazy.
Fortunately for me, I didn't do any of those. I've always used good keywords. I've never mentioned any shipping. So I didn't have to go back and make any edits. So I have to knock on wood. But yeah, I mean, if you guys fall under those categories of the new terms of services that needs to be changed, man, do it now. Do it immediately.
Yeah, start changing those things now. They had people asking questions. They tagged Amazon on there, like, you know, like I said, how long do we have and what can we do? And they did respond, I think a couple of days later, and they said any listings that don't comply, you know, with our rules and terms may lead to suspension. Of course, your t-shirt's taken down. They didn't even say they're going to give you time. They just said it's effective now, pretty much. So that, I mean, that's crazy. And we're not even done with how many things they added on there. 2 more things. Promises. This is number 6. Promises that revenue from sales will go to a specific place, including text that says all proceeds will be donated to, or all purchases of these shirts will support a particular organization.
Yeah, I've actually seen those, and that's just false. 9 times out of 10, you know, that is not true. And if it is true, there's no need for you guys to advertise it. Just do it on your own terms.
Because I think that turns into a big thing too. You know, the proper documents that are saying that you are donating this money to an organization or something like that. You know, for breast cancer or something like that, or you know, that's very serious stuff. If you're saying that you are going to donate some proceeds to that, and then if you're not doing that, and maybe you're just doing it just to try to get more sales, well, that's even worse. But
shame on you for doing that.
Yeah. But in this case, I have seen those shirts too. I don't know. I think they have been taken down, honestly, because I've had some people in the, I think one of the Facebook groups that said they tried doing that recently because they didn't read the update. They tried uploading a shirt and it got rejected. So I think they are very serious when it comes to this and the profanity one. I think those two they're really going hard on to really get these guys off of there. So the last one, keywords and descriptions that do not relate to the design, aka keyword stuffing.
Oh yeah, that's one of my pet peeves. I mean, again, guys, it's, you know, and that reminds me, this guy that I was training on merch, you know, he had asked me, he goes, one of his questions to me was, can I write a full sentence in one of the keyword spaces? I'm like, why would you write a sentence in the keyword space when you can write it in the description? He goes, well, I don't know. I'm like, no, you have to use keywords. And when I say keywords, just one. I mean, there's no need to put in a freaking 50 words, making a paragraph out of it. I just wanted, they give you 2 keyword slots, and you just find 2 good words that's related to your design.
And some people have put, a little bit longer. I do have a little bit longer than that, where I have, a little bit more about it as far as like, I don't know, like key things when it comes to the shirt. We talked about it before. If your shirt is about basketball, then I'll have a couple of keywords in there and why, and something that relates to the shirt though, because I totally get them when they say keywords and descriptions that do not relate to the design. Because if my shirt is about basketball, next thing you know, my keywords are football, basketball, comma, baseball, basketball, comma, volleyball, basketball, comma, video games, basketball, comma. And I've seen these over and over. It's like, how many times are you going to type in basketball when basketball is clearly in your title? And now you're trying to just do like a keyword with basketball, keyword basketball. Like, you've seen these a lot. One of my last video where I talked about this stuff, there was like a fishing shirt that I found, and the word fishing was in the description at least 100 times. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it in the title, there's no reason for you to use it as a keyword. Just going on that fishing example. I mean, I would use something like, I don't know, like bait. I don't know, what other words would you use for fishing? I'm not a fisherman, so I don't know. Bait, boat.
You gotta step up. You gotta step up your fishing game, son.
I know, man. What's going on? But yeah, there's no need to have 50 words separated by commas and stuff. That's just, man. Yeah. That's one of my pet peeves. I wish those people do get shut down.
So that is the definition of keyword stuffing, and they did talk about this in the webinar too. I'm thinking that every single time they do have a webinar, definitely gonna have to pay attention, like slide by slide, because they talked about this too, that keyword stuffing, that they're looking out for that stuff, and that I think he said that it just makes the listing crowded, unprofessional. I think it also kind of makes it not legitimate. I think you kind of wonder, like, is this a real shirt? And then if your shirt is like priced low, I think that also doesn't really help it, because you're like, what's going on with this shirt? Why so many words on here? And it's not really adding up compared to the standard listings that Amazon
it almost makes your listing like generic, right? I mean, you have
generic or cheap, really.
You have like 50,000 words, and then you got like a shirt that's priced at $12.99. I don't know. As a customer, I might be turned off by that.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree with that point. The last sentence, which is actually pretty crucial: content creators who do not comply with Merch by Amazon policies or attempt to circumvent those policies will face immediate suspension or termination of their account.
Guys, I've been suspended for 24 hours. I know what it's like. It's not pretty. Okay?
He's bald now. He tore out all of his hair. He was stressed. He couldn't sleep.
It really is stressful, man. Don't again. If again, I mean, I don't know if you guys are doing FBA, but when my FBA account got suspended, it was all across the board. So if your merch account gets suspended, it might even hit your FBA account. I don't know, but I'm just telling you what happened to me. Don't risk it. If you do, again, fall under those categories, make those changes now, immediately. Like as soon as you're done listening to the podcast, go in there. I don't care how many shirts you have. Spend the next week doing it, man. Seriously, because it's, oh gosh, man. I'm telling you, what I went through was stressful.
And our little segue to this point was talking about how we are at their mercy. And I'm going to leave off with this. They may change this again. And when they do, I'm gonna have to change 2,300 shirts, but by that time, I may have 3,000 shirts. I may have 4,000 shirts. I may have 8,000 shirts. I really don't know. If they change something that maybe, I mean, who really knows what they could come up with? They can come up with anything that maybe they don't want that anymore in keywords or titles or certain part of maybe even the design. We're all going to have to go back and change every single one of these shirts.
Absolutely. So just again, guys, if just be aware of any policy changes. Again, ignorance is not an excuse. Regardless of what situation you're in, if you hear from Amazon, whether you're doing merch or FBA, make sure you take action and respond in a timely manner. Again, because you don't want to go through what I went through of just being stressed out. But yeah, I mean,
and looking over your back every couple of minutes.
That's really the only way to survive in this business. Again, I mean, you can make all the money you can, but at the same time, we have to abide by their rules. I mean, it is their platform. So just play it safe. From my experience, at any time, if you feel like you're doing something wrong, chances are you probably are doing something wrong.
If you have to ask the question,
right,
will pass,
right,
or maybe not get rejected.
Yeah.
You're already setting yourself up.
Yeah. I mean, can I use the word ass? I don't know. They use it on television. Well, if you're questioning yourself, just don't even use it.
Yeah. Don't even put yourself in that situation. If you have to ask yourself that question.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, Glenn, that was a fun show. Sharing my story and going over the new terms of services. And any last words before we close?
Yeah, I don't know about a fun show, Yong, but this was this was heavy stuff. Rules, regulations, laptop stolen.
Yeah. Well, it was something that had to be discussed, though.
Yeah, exactly. Real life situations, things you're going to have to do and pay attention to, especially with content policy.
Absolutely. But guys, this is our third episode. And again, we're only going to get better. If you have any comments or if you want, you can leave us reviews. We're on iTunes now. Just look up Merch Minds. But yeah, I mean, let us know how we can get better, or let us know that we're doing good, or any kind of feedback, so that way we can get better and present a better show for you guys. Glenn,
definitely helps.
Yeah, you guys know Glenn. He's on YouTube. You guys can find him there. You can also go to his website, hustlerhacks.com. I'm currently working on my website. I've been saying this for the past 3 shows now. It's not even close to being done, but I am working on it.
And now with merch and Q4 and going out of town on trips for work, all of this stuff is not helping with that.
Yeah. My goal is
keeping this man busy.
Yeah, absolutely. My goal is to try and get that launched by the end of the year. But we'll see. Again, no promises.
There we go.
But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Again, please leave us a review. That'll mean a lot to us.
Yes, sir. You can email me, hustlerhacks1@gmail.com. My website, hustlerhacks.com. You can also contact me through there if you just want to leave a review or some type of, critique. Even if you wanted to, you can just type that in, submit, and then it'll go to me.
Yeah, and you can email me for now at hybridstyle.com. I'm sorry, hybridstyle@gmail.com.
There we go. You might have some emails on plan of action.
No. I'm not doing those emails anymore.
All right, sounds good, guys. Hopefully you guys like this show, and I know it was a very rules and regulations type thing, but very, very important things to go through. So hopefully this podcast. See, I'm just used to being on YouTube. Podcast helps you, with the rules and regulations. You don't want to get suspended and you don't want any strikes on your account.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. You guys are definitely going to want to listen to great stuff coming up and leave us any feedback. My name is Glenn.
My name is Yong.
My boy Yong. This is a Merch Minds podcast. We'll see you next episode.
Peace.